So, all right, we are now recording. So welcome to Kiwanis Let's Talk. It's May 26, 2022 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I want to welcome everybody for joining us tonight. For those of you that are new, thanks for joining us. For those of you that have been with us for 3 years, I think we should have some kind of a celebration somewhere along the way. So, maybe we'll do that in Indianapolis. But we're recording this tonight, and it will also be on Facebook Live. For those of you that haven't used Facebook Live before, it automatically records there. And of course, it will record and we'll put it up on the Michigan District of Kiwanis YouTube page. Before we get started here, I want to remind you that the last 2 weeks, we interviewed the candidates for International Trustee 2 weeks ago, and the candidates for International Vice President last week. Those are also available on YouTube, as well as available on Facebook. Next week, Carol Stern is going to join us, the former CEO of UNICEF. And so you're leading into Carol, Mike.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And she is now the executive director of the Walmart Foundation. So she's going to be with us next week for a discussion on leadership. So this evening, I
would like to discuss with her the change from moving from New York City to Arkansas. You can
join us next week. Why don't you join us next week?
I'll lead with that question because Carol's a great person, and I'm probably doing great stuff there too.
Yes, that would be a great question to ask her. Exactly. I thought the same thing. New York, Arkansas. Okay, great. Yeah.
Great. Good for you.
So we are very excited to have with us tonight Mike Downs, who's actually in
Houston. I just got out of a 10-hour car ride, so I'm rocking the homeless look, but I'm in Houston today.
That's right. He went down to take care of a dog, pick up a dog for his daughter. So
yeah,
that's a great thing, Dad. That's a great thing. So Mike is going to give us an overview of what's up and coming for our Kiwanis International Convention, which is happening June 8th through the 10th or 11th in Indianapolis, Indiana. Depending, I don't know, some of us, I'm going down like June 3rd. So,
right. Some people are already there.
Some people are already there. So, Mike, we will turn it over to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in chat. Rosemary will get the information off of our Facebook site if anybody has any questions there. But Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you. So take it away.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you, Sue, for having me back again this year. So I'm really, really excited that we're going to have an in-person event, a full convention. Last year we had a great small event in Salt Lake City. It was a conference, not a convention. So this year we're having our convention. Just to clarify some questions that have been asked. If you have registered to participate and you live in the US, you should have received your credentials and tickets and everything in the mail. If you have not, shoot me an email and we'll see where those are. So everyone by now in the US should have had those packets. If you are registered and you are not don't live in the US currently, you'll pick up your packet on site and we'll have those ready for you in the convention center in Hall D whenever you arrive, starting on Wednesday. So that's just to clarify where your stuff is, because I know some of you have probably seen people posting on Facebook, I'm ready to go, and they're shooting their name badge and they're shooting their packets, and you're like, where's mine? So that's one of the things that we did last year, and we actually found it's, believe it or not, a cost savings to mail you the packet than to build reg desks. So we're learning as we go. Some things have helped us be smarter, and some things have helped us just learn how to work a little smarter. Speaking of COVID, I want to cover that up front too. So we keep following all of the CDC and the World Health Organization guidelines. And we used to just say the CDC, and then we realized that some of our friends not in the US, they may take a different vaccine based upon what the World Health Organization says they should have in their home country. So we are honoring any World Health Organization vaccine. So our current rules are, if you are vaccinated, and that's just the first round. So we're not talking about boosters. If you are vaccinated with the CDC, at least in the US, 2 shots of Pfizer, 2 shots of Moderna, 1 shot of Johnson & Johnson, you are not required to wear a mask at any event. You may choose to, always your choice to wear a mask. You are not. If you are not vaccinated, we ask that you wear a mask. And that's just for your protection. And we want to make sure that everyone is safe. We will have at the convention, and there'll be more information pushed out later, some COVID tests. If someone starts feeling ill, if you start feeling ill, we will have available some do-it-yourself tests, if that makes sense. We will provide that to you and ask you to go to your room and take the test and then send us the results. and we'll go from there. So that's just something that we'll have available. We have a fairly good stockpile. We don't have enough if everybody needs one, but we're hopeful that we're not going to have it. We just want to make it easier for people to take a test on site if they weren't feeling well and were a little concerned, because A, we want you to feel better, and B, we want to keep everyone safe. So let's just talk a little bit about day-to-day, what it looks like. For those of you who did not register yet or at all, there is still time to watch and participate virtually. So we have opened up some new slots on the virtual platform. And so those opened up, I think, again this week, and will stay open up until the day of the convention starts. So people can still register and watch the sessions and participate, or watch the sessions, and then watch 2 of the education rooms each day. The other great thing is those of you who have registered traditional, you'll also get access to the platform. So what that means is everything is live when it happens. And then after it happens, it's on demand for the next 30 days. So if you didn't go to that one education workshop and it's one of the ones in the streaming rooms, you can watch that when you get home up to 30 days later. So everyone that's there will have access to both platforms. And the great thing about the platform is this year, there'll be more interaction. You'll have the opportunity to chat with each other, see who's there, build a profile. It'll be something, hopefully, that'll be more interactive than last year. And last year, we were all new still. Last year, we were also sharing with Circle K. We're mindful of interactions. And so we're excited to see all the new bells and whistles that we can roll out this year as it relates to we call it the MVP platform. So day by day, let me just take a look here. What to do with that? We start on Wednesday. And Wednesday, for those of you who are part of the Amplify Capstone, if you're taking that with Lindsay, you'll do your capstone that day, either in the morning or the afternoon, and Lindsay will have coordinated that with you. There'll be board meetings, because you know the board and the Children's Fund board has to meet, and Sue and the past presidents have to go sit in a room all day to talk about all the great things that we're doing. Sorry. So the past presidents meet all day. And then at about 4 o'clock, we're going to have a welcome reception in our marketplace. Our marketplace is what we're have rebranded our exhibit hall. We don't necessarily this year have all the exhibits that you may be used to, but we have some of our partners there. We have our internal booth and exhibit. I know that Brad and his team have created something a lot of fun that you need to go look at. So we'll have different things. The candidates will be in the marketplace. You'll have the opportunity there. So on Wednesday from about 4 to 6, we'll have a little reception there. There'll be a cash bar. There'll be some food that you can munch on and walk around. And that's just sort of a welcome to the event, a welcome to the marketplace. On Wednesday evening, we do have a special event, and there are still some tickets. If you haven't bought a ticket and you're coming in person, we can still get you there for distinguished districts. Obviously, we have not recognized properly distinguished districts for the last 3 years. So we're talking about Polly's year, Art's year, and Danielle's year. So all 3 of those groupings, those gentlemen there, distinguished districts will be recognized at the Indiana Roof Ballroom with a special event. And we'll have some really good dinner. We have an MC coming that night. He's a local TV personality and comedian. We have added a little entertainment. We added a young man named Keegan Farrell. And Keegan was on The Voice. He was Team Blake. I'm not sure what year he was on The Voice, but he was Team Blake. And so he's just a very talented young man at the piano and a vocalist. And he's going to play us some dinner music and do some little intermingling of talent amongst the awards. So it's just going to be a really nice event. The Indiana Roof Ballroom in Indianapolis is a stunning ballroom, and it's on the roof of a theater. So if you want to come, we still have room for you. We still have room. So that gets us through Wednesday. And we get to Thursday. Thursday, we start Thursday morning with our keynote speaker. Jimmy Casas is his name, and Jimmy is a former national high school principal of the year. He's from, I think he lives in the Pennsylvania region now. He's originally from Bettendorf, Iowa, where he was a high school principal, and he owns a consulting company and goes around and, it helps teachers, helps school districts, help individuals learn how to teach and to be with people. So he's going to kick off our Ready to Learn Day. So Jimmy's going to kick us off. Everyone that bought a ticket, the great thing here is everyone that's registered for the event, you get lunch each day. So you're going to go have lunch, and I'm very excited. Lunch on Thursday, it's called Eat Like a Kid. And it's chicken fingers and grilled cheese and PBJ and tomato soup and fruit roll-ups and all those things that, your kids or you or your grandkids still enjoy. So it's a lot of fun. We're having a little fun at lunchtime. Then what we're doing in the afternoon after lunch, we have what we call launch pads. And so each day we'll have a launch pad that'll launch us into the education components. So we'll have 3 speakers, think TED Talks, right? Think of that. And so each of them will get 15 minutes on something very specific to what's going to be taught later in the day. I'm not sure who's on day 1, but we have some really neat people. If you were in Salt Lake City, you saw Rachel Giannini. She's back with us. She's going to do one of the launch pads plus do an education piece. She's just really, really special. We have a young man on Thursday, or Friday. Sorry, I know he's on Friday. His name is Master Caleb Stewart. And if you want to Google him later, you can. He was on Little Big Shots. He calls himself the world's youngest motivational speaker, and he is all about literacy and reading and the importance of reading. I think he's like 8, and he's about as cute as he can be and full of so much energy. So you'll see him pop up at different times around at different events, but he will be speaking on Friday as well, on Friday. So Thursday, go back to that. We do the launch pad. Then we have education sessions that'll run us till about 4 p.m. And then everyone goes off to the baseball game at 6. So the Indians are playing. President Peter will throw out the first pitch of that game. And, not going to rain. It's not going to rain in Indianapolis on that Thursday night. And so everyone that has registered for the event will get in your packet. If you've already received it, bring it with you. There's a card, and that card tells you to take it to the Kiwanis family store, which is in Hall D, and you're going to trade it in for a ticket, a wristband. The wristband's going to give you food and drink. So think, it's baseball fare. It's hot dogs, hamburgers. I think it's beer and wine. That's just the standard picnic at the Indians Field. And you're going to get a t-shirt that you can choose to wear if you want to. It's just a blue t-shirt with the word Kiwanis in white on it. But we hope everyone will wear it and wear it over to the baseball field, and we'll have a great night there. And that'll get us through Thursday. Friday morning, most districts, at least most US-based districts, I don't think any non-US friends did it, are having caucuses. If you don't know if your district's having a caucus, reach out to your district secretary/executive director. And that man or woman should know, and they should also know where. Most of you will have it in the hotel that your district's assigned to. Some of the hotels did not have space, so those individuals have been moved to the convention center. So again, just check. And most of them are going at 8 o'clock. Also on Friday morning, if you've signed up, if you haven't, there may still be some spots, I'm not sure. Our Children's Fund and the Young Children Party 1 Council are doing a food packing event. So you can go and pack food at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. One of the groupings is already full, but you can still go and check on that. One thing I didn't mention, on Wednesday and on Saturday, you can take a tour of the Kiwanis office. You can sign up for that. Buses will leave the convention center. They'll take you to the office. They'll give you a tour. They'll send you back. So if you want to take a tour, that's an easy way. They're going to hate me for saying this, Brad. You didn't hear me say this. You can always pop by the office during that week. Someone will be there to give you some sort of tour. It won't probably be as fun and as full as the structured tours where you get 45 minutes or an hour through the building in a very guided manner. But if you can't go those days and you're driving through, come up to the office and ring the bell. And you may go, what? Our office isn't unlocked because we don't have a receptionist, but we do have a doorbell. So if you're standing at the front doors, the doorbell's on the right. There's a sign and it looks like a little house doorbell. You just hit that button and someone will come, usually me if I'm there, but someone will come and let you in. And that's for any day that you're through Indianapolis. If you're ever past the office and think, gosh, I'd like to stop, there's a good shot someone's there. You can come and ring the bell or send me a message and I'll make sure to be there and show you around because it's a really, really great building. We're very proud of the building and we cleaned it up a lot in recent years. And I always love it when we're having convention there because that's the one time where it's like someone's coming to your house. So you got to clean everything up really quick. And so it's getting polished up. If we could just get an air conditioner for our auditorium, we would be in business, but that has to do with supply chain issues and the rest is history. Okay, friends, so that gets us to Friday. Friday morning, caucuses, food packing. We'll have a launch pad that morning. Then everyone will go off to lunch. We'll have education in the afternoon, and then we'll finish with Dr. Mae Jameson. Originally, we were going to have Diana Trujillo, who is with NASA, but good for her, bad for us. NASA told her that they needed her to stay close. So she is working on a new project that would not let her leave. I don't know if there's any truth to this, but I love spreading rumors. I believe that she's being tapped to be on the next, as they figure out how we go back to the moon. So I think that's where she's working in that mode. So we went back and picked up another astronaut because why not? And Dr. Mae Jameson was available, and Dr. Jameson was the first African-American female in space. So she has taken some time to come to be with us, and she's going to spend time talking to us, but also more of an in-depth just Q&A with Stan, and if anyone has any questions. She prefers just to chat. So we'll have her. Friday evening is an open evening. Again, I'm going to refer you back to your district secretary/executive directors. Some districts have dinners. Some have opted to go, and Greg can probably talk more about this. Some have opted to go over to, there you go. Come on.
Slippery Noodle.
Thank you. I'm like, how hard is this for me to remember the oldest bar in the state of Indiana, the Slippery Noodle? So some districts have gone together and brought that out. That's a phenomenal venue. It's just such a historic piece of downtown for Indianapolis. And if you go there, if there are any tickets left, they'll let you know. But if you go there, you'll have a great time. If not, it's just an open night for you to enjoy Indianapolis, downtown Indianapolis. Lots of things to do. If you're really a baseball fan, there'll be another baseball game you can go back to that night. But just enjoy your time with your fellow Kiwanians, with your guests, with your members, and just have a good time there. And then Saturday is the day we've all waited for. It's been 2 years in the making. So we'll be back to our House of Delegates in a business session. Obviously, Sue has pointed out that you've had the conversations with all the candidates. So we'll be electing candidates from those groups. We'll also be doing amendments for the first time in a few years. So I encourage you to study up on those. If you don't have the amendments handy, we have printed off those booklets. You can pick one up on site. You don't have, if you want to print your own out and bring it with you, you can. If you want to wait till you get there, you can pick one up from the counter from us. It's a pretty hefty document, as you can imagine. And so you just want to make sure that you get that and you study that. And one of the things we were going to do, and we learned today that we cannot, we were going to just have the House of Delegates open. Everyone just come sit wherever, if you want to sit there, sit there. And then Diana pointed out that one of our rules says that they cannot sit together. So we're like, ugh. So, the theme of COVID, we pivoted and went back and found all those signs and tape. And so I guess better to figure that out before than on site. You're still welcome to come watch. There'll just be a gallery section you can sit in. And then after that, we will, everyone gets lunch on Saturday as well. If you opted to upgrade your lunch, you'll go have a different lunch with the Kiwanis Children's Fund and their annual meeting in the ballroom. It's a little bit nicer lunch. So the reason the ticket was cheaper than a normal lunch is you've already paid for lunch in your packet, right, with the reg fee. So this is just what it would normally take to get to that ticket price. So you'll go over and have something a little bit nicer. Not that the lunch we're having at Hall E isn't fantastic. I think it's fajitas or something of that nature on that day. And you'll go do that and come back, finish the business. And then that evening we have our gala. There's still a few tickets left for that. And that's going to be Michael Cavanaugh. And Michael Cavanaugh is the gentleman that Billy Joel tapped to play him in Moving Out, the Broadway show. And so what will happen is he will play for an hour. He's going to give us the best of Elton John and Billy Joel, keeping in mind he played Billy Joel on Broadway. So he's very talented. It's him and his piano. And he's got a guitar. So at some point, I'm guessing he's playing the guitar as well. And then we also have a band called the Downtown Band, and they're based out of Nashville. And it's 9 men and women who are very high energy, and they'll give us a little dinner music. And then once Mr. Cavanaugh is finished with his set, they'll come out and play dance music for as long as people want to dance. So dinner that night will be great. There'll be some cash bars. Your dinner ticket also comes with 2 drink tickets that you can use for alcohol or not alcoholic drinks, whatever your choice is. And it will be a fun night, and that wraps it up. The only thing I did not mention is we do have the signature project breakfast on Thursday morning, and that's a ticket as well. So there are still a few tickets. If you want a ticket to any of the ticket events, Children's Fund Lunch, the gala, or the signature project breakfast, make sure you do that day one when you get there. There aren't a lot of those left. The one with the least amount of tickets is the Children's Fund Luncheon. It's almost sold out, but the others, there's still some space for. And we'd love to have you come there and hang out with some of your closest friends. On Sunday, really the only thing on Sunday, there are 2 things happening. The board, the new board and the old board will get together, have a little breakfast. And then at that point, who'll be president designate Bert is having his, I guess technically at that point, they are governor designates. Is that right? Whatever. They're staying over for a day of training, and they'll spend the day at the JW talking with each other. I know that Brad and the membership team will be there with them, and they will be laying out some great plans that will kick into gear starting in October. So yes, Melanie, that's a great. Melanie says, can we please find ways to encourage everyone to stay in the delegate session until the amendments are all done? Yeah, that's a hard one, right? Because what we see, Melanie, is people vote and then they leave. We really want them to stay because it's not just the amendments, but this is really the closing session as well. So Bert would like people there to hear him speak, right? So it's all wrapped into one. So in old Kiwanis times, we do the delegates, we come back at like 2 p.m. and we do a closing. Well, this is all one because it could become a long day. We are going to give you a lunch break. So the thought is you're going to go and have lunch, get refreshed, come back and do it again. But yeah, we're going to try our darndest because there are some important amendments to be discussed. All amendments are important, but there are some that, you know, everyone needs to be present if you want to make changes to your governing documents. So yeah, great point. That's true. So we need to make sure that it's the closing session, that everyone understands what it is. So not only those that are delegates, but those that are non-delegates, we really want them to come back as well. Because Sue knows as president, it's really your opportunity to sort of cast a vision, to sort of, you know, give a call to leadership, to get everybody excited about going back out and doing some good work. I will tell you, Bert's already got us working hard on Minneapolis convention as well. We have an Ask Al for Entertainment. I will not tell you who, because Bert will kill me. Although Bert picked him, so if you don't like him, it's Bert's fault. And we have an Ask Out for a speaker, just a phenomenal speaker on the first day. So we're hopeful that we're going to get some of that information that we'll share with you in Indianapolis to start drawing some of that. I will tell you this, Thursday afternoon, this is a little known fact that we'll be publicizing as well. Meet Minneapolis is with us. The part of the deal when they host the city, they're supposed to come the year before and hang out in the exhibit hall and give out some stuff. And they are, but word on the street is Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock, which is right when education ends. Meet Minneapolis is handing out ice cream. So, you know, swing back through the hall and grab an ice cream before you go over to the baseball game. I'm so excited about that. What are some questions, comments, concerns?
Tony has a question. Tony from Australia, down under.
Hey, shouldn't you just wait, Tony? Shouldn't you already be on a plane to come here? I mean, it takes.
I'm flapping my arms.
Right. Okay.
Yes. You said you've sent out all of the Rego documents and stuff, I presume not to overseas people.
Correct.
When can we pick them up at the convention center?
Yeah, you can get them starting on Wednesday, Tony, in Hall D. So the way the convention center is laid out, our sessions are in Hall C, and then our marketplace, which has our store and the registration, Hall D, and then Hall E is where we'll eat. Here's another little known fact. Word on the street, I love all these words on the street, is those of you who booked a room through the Kiwanis portal, which we want you all to, because there's a financial reason that the reason we don't pay for a convention center is the hotels, when you book your room, gives money back to the convention center. So like that. But everyone that booked a room in a hotel at the Kiwanis, through the Kiwanis block, you will get at some point, I think it's Thursday, a little thing slid under your door that'll give you $10 off in the family store. So you'll get a little gift card. You can go over and spend some free money, just as our way to say thank you for booking in the block and making sure that we pick up that makes life a little bit easier. Yes, the Kiwanis store is in the marketplace. So everything will be in Hall D as in David. So the store, the reg desk, the host committee desk, and the credentials desk. So if you have an issue with your delegate packet, I know that some people didn't get their delegate card because maybe you had a balance on your club account that you need to settle up with before you can get it. So we can fix all of that. Bryce Kinder and then Frank McDonald will be there, but we need to get all that settled by Friday. So Friday at 5, I think delegate certification ceases. And so that we can figure out how to plot the delegates in the hall, go and count chairs, which is a lot of fun on a late Friday night. We're going down the road, but we'll do it so that when you get there, it'll be ready for you to go in and have that experience. We're voting the same way we have previous years. So you'll get a device when you check in. From the Lumi is the vendor that we use, the same one we used the last time we voted, even for the conference. So it will hopefully not take forever, right? We'll see how this works. It's gonna be a good time, and we've got some important things to do. What else, friends?
Mike, I have a question.
Yeah.
Will the Kiwanis app be activated?
Yeah, so when you get, and I don't know where we are in the scheme of life, when you get your login for the MVP platform, and it may or may not, it may be live already, there is an app within it. So when you log in there, the app will come from there. So the app is within the platform, but yeah, there's a button, because Steve Haddis sent me a link. He's like, here. So there is an app in there. So it's not necessarily the one that you've used before, like Kiwanis Family Events or any of those. So it'll be different, but there's an app, and we will push out updates and messages there. So allow notifications. If given that opportunity, allow notifications, and that just makes it easier for when we push it out. Let me talk. Speaking of notifications, I'm going to bet that someone on this phone, on this call, on this computer, everyone got a confirmation email if we had an email for you, and if you haven't opted out of all of our email communications, because believe it or not, somebody will call me and go, I didn't get it. No, because you opted out. I can't send you one. It's not allowed. You got to go and opt back in. So we sent out on last week a confirmation email. There were a few things in there. There was an opportunity to, if you still wanted to pack food, you could click that link and see where it was. If you wanted to take a tour, you click that link and see where it was. There was a very important link in there as well, friends. There was some link in there about dietary restrictions. The one thing we did not do, shame on us, we failed, is when you went and bought your tickets, we didn't ask if you had a dietary restriction. And some of you, I'm looking at Sue, I know Sue has one, I know Linda, I know some of you, I don't know 1,600 of you. So if you've missed that, please go back, although it'll tell you that it ended on Tuesday, please go back and click that and let's see if we can't get it. And if it's not working, let me know, because we want to make sure that when you get there, that we have a meal that you can eat because you paid for it, that meets your dietary restrictions if we can get there. The only reason I say this is we didn't get many people to reply. We know how many of you opened it, but opened it just means you clicked on the email. It doesn't mean you did anything with it, but we didn't get a lot. And I know Kiwanians, and there are a lot of you that have dietary restrictions. So if you didn't do it, go back and look at it. And if you need some help, let me know. We can still fix that. I've not given final counts yet.
And I will tell you that it was nice that you listed the menu items.
Yeah.
Because even for those that may have had dietary restrictions, like for me, I don't need to submit anything because there's something there I can eat.
Right. And they're the ones that we worried most about, besides those of you who may have very special like seasoning or something that we will make sure it's not on there, or are vegans, because there's there's a fair number of vegetarian options, whether it's a grilled cheese sandwich, eat like a kid, or grilled quesadillas, or, but vegans, and that was the one concern there, or anybody that needs a special meal. We should make sure everyone gets what they need, so that you don't go there and pay a pretty penny to have a meal that you can't eat. So still have time to fix that for you if we need to.
And Kathleen gave you a compliment in the questions that said that you are always very accommodating for dietary restrictions. And I will say that's very true. I agree with that.
Yes, as long as we know, we try. And if we don't know, we try to fix it on the fly. Sometimes a center can, and sometimes it can't. So
right.
We do what we can with what we have, and want to make sure that you all have that experience as well.
Rosemary, any questions from our Facebook friends?
Alrighty. Let's see here. Kathy would like to know, I think it's when the folks at home, when will they be able to watch the programs and workshops?
Yeah, so you can watch them live. And live is on Eastern Standard Time. So when you get your login credential, it will give you a schedule there as well. There's a schedule so you can see the time. It's Eastern Standard Time. So if you don't want to get up or it's middle of the night for you, again, you can watch it live when it happens, or you can watch it on demand once it's happened. It takes about a little bit of time to be ready for on demand, and then you can click it and watch as you care to for 30 days from the date that it played. So that's how long it's good for. And then usually what happens, at least with the education component, we try to repurpose those and put them out in a different manner. Our speakers, we cannot. So that would be the only thing that if you really wanted to see a speaker, you wanted to watch one again, that you have 30 days to do that. And then once that 30 days goes, there's nothing I can do, unfortunately, for someone who goes, I didn't watch. I can't go back and make it come back. So it sort of goes away.
Alrighty, and then I don't think we can really estimate it, but do we have a guesstimate maybe of when the closing session will end? I said after lunch, but it's gonna be all up to how many people start debating.
Yeah, I think in Mike's world, we do have a hard stop time, and I don't know what that is. And that hard stop time occurs whether you finish the business or not. We believe you'll finish, though. The sooner you finish, the less heart palpitations I have, because we have to flip that room to dinner, right? So I need y'all to get out. My guess is 4 o'clock, to be honest with you. That's my guess. I could be wrong. I could be way wrong, but that's my guess. We tend to, from our side, estimate time. We're like, what if it takes? We won't have a runoff, right, for vice president. There's 2 of them. So there are some things that we won't have, which makes it go a little bit easier. So we'll see. So I don't know. Depends on how quickly you go. And that goes with the fact that lunch proceeds as it should as well. A hiccup at lunch hiccups everything else. So I've told Pam Norman and our Children's Fund friends, this is your time block. You got to get in, got to get out. Everybody else will be okay because they'll be having lunch at Holly and it's buffet and there's plenty of time to eat there.
Alrighty.
Okay,
Several
Larry,
people can't wait to see everybody, but I think that's it for questions.
so Larry had a question about the email that I was referencing, the confirmation email. It went out last week, Larry. I wish I could think of what it was called. Larry, if you send me an email, I'll have them resend it to you. And I can do that. My email, I'll just give this live, is just mdowns@kiwanis.org. Here's a little known secret. Everyone's first initial last name at kiwanis.org. So, if you want to get to Brad, it's just bboyd@kiwanis.org. So
Hey.
It arrived to me titled Preparing Your Convention Experience on Friday, the 20th of May, which is probably Thursday in what year are you guys in?
yeah, so good. So yeah, good, Tony. So
from Kiwanis Convention.
Yeah, so if you don't have it, just send us a note. I'll send you one back. Brad had a question here. People asking, why do we switch to sending out credentials? Last year we sent out credentials because of COVID. We didn't want people touching. We didn't want my team to have to, do hand sanitizer between each one. We were trying to limit interaction because we were still in the peak of COVID, peak-ish. So that was it. What we found is a couple of things. We were worried that Kiwanians wouldn't remember to bring their stuff. Lo and behold, everyone but one brought it. And that one, there was actually 2 of them. They had left on a cross-country tour. They didn't get to them in time. We were prepared. We actually had 2 of everything for everyone. We got another one. But Kiwanians brought it, which was shocking. Number 2 is when we went back and looked at it and we ran a cost analysis, it's actually cheaper to mail them than to build reg desks. So it actually saves money that we can use for other things. It was weird. I'm like, how much does it cost to build reg? Those big booths where you walked up with your last name between A and C. So there was a little bit of that. So yes, Tony, who sent me a message about right there, buddy. Yes, you can pick up your governor-elect packet.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, well, I trust you for a brief moment. So yeah, we want to make sure that everyone gets what they need. Everyone gets it in their hand. And if if you get there and you forgot your packet, we can fix it. We can print another one on site. Just giving people more of an opportunity to have their items beforehand and bring it with them. And actually, an unintended consequence also was it was fun to see people start posting that on Facebook and seeing some of the people putting pictures and driving up a little more excitement around that. So I'm excited about that. We have, friends, about 1,600 people registered to come in person. We are still lacking, and it won't be a shock to Tony. We're still lacking our friends from overseas. There's still some challenges for some of them. Japan, Taiwan. I mean, Tony's coming, thank goodness, from Australia, but there are some that just there are travel issues, there are quarantine issues, there are other issues. So we haven't got back to that group yet. So that's something to look forward to. But I think 1,600 was more than we wanted. Not more than we wanted, sorry, more than we expected. So we're pleased with that. We have probably about 1,000 that have chosen to participate virtually. So those men and women, and we've reopened that. So I don't know what the current count is. And that's great because it gives people a way to engage. And one of the things that we are working on, and Lindsay Carrick in our ed department hired a new staff member about online education. How do we engage those people online? Because we want to make sure that if you paid your $49 this year, I don't know what it'll be, yeah, there it is, $49. We want to be engaging. We want you to be able to actually participate in some manner. We want you to be able to interact with those that are present. We want you to be able to ask a question in an education session if you want to. Obviously, you have to do that live. So we're trying to figure out different ways, and just as we move forward, I think there'll always be some sort of virtual component with our events, just because we are a global organization. And Tony, I go back to Tony again, our Australian friend, but it's not cheap for them to get here, right? It's not easy. It's costly, and it's time consuming. Although for those of you flying from wherever, if you've looked at airfare in the US, you could almost go to Australia cheaper. So it's interesting here. So it'll be okay. A couple of things just on our website in case you need it. Parking at downtown hotels is quite expensive. We have a link on our transportation link, I believe, it's called Gate 10. It is a gate. It's a parking lot that provides shuttles to the area hotels. And I think it's like $10 a day. I'm not sure what the price is, but you go and you make your reservation there and they'll take care of you. If you need a scooter, there is a scooter link on there. You click that, you can get a scooter from anyone. Let me preface that. You can park anywhere. We're not getting a dime from either of these companies. It was just as a service to our members, but we get nada. But if you go to the scooter company, they will drop it at your hotel and they'll pick it up from your hotel. So if you have some mobility issues, and the convention center in Indianapolis is large, not even pretend it's not. It's long and it's wonky. The good news is all the hotels are relatively close, and all are connected via skywalk. If you're at the Omni, it's easier to go street level, but I mean, you could get there via a skywalk, but it's a lot easier to walk out the front door and across the street. So it's a great little city, and hopefully everyone will have a good time. The temps have been pretty mild, I think. I mean, it's going to be warm, but it's okay. I mean, Houston, it's a lot hotter here today. What other questions? Thank you, Sue, for dropping the Gate 10 in there, and the scooters. What other questions do we have, friends?
So just for clarification, those that have registered for the virtual attendance will receive an email with the information, a schedule, and their login information, correct? Yeah. And actually, that's everyone will. Right. So those of you who are coming in person will also get the virtual component as part of your registration fee, which allows you to go back and watch some of the education you may not have. And here's the other thing, guys, that login is user specific, right? So if you get it, if Sue gets it and go, you know what, I'm gonna give it to mom and to my sister and my nephew, it's only gonna let one person be on that system. So it's not something you can share. Each one is individual to the person that registered, and our AV company sends it out. If you have challenges working through it, there's a help button. We pay someone from the AV company to sit there and answer those questions and be on call during our sessions, because we realize sometimes things glitch. We can add people up to almost the start of. So if we get some last minutes, they'll do them as quick as they can and get you that information, because we want you to be able to participate and watch that. And last year we used it, worked out fine. So we're hopeful that this year it's going to be just the same way. We do have another diversity, equity, inclusion summit on one of the afternoons. I think it's Thursday. It's part of the workshop block. It's an extra session. They have a facilitator coming in to do some really neat things around that, if that's something that interests you. That will be part of the live stream. Portions of it will be part of the live stream show as well, so you can watch from home. All of our education is in the convention center. Most of it on the first floor. There's one room up on the second floor, which is one of our streaming rooms.
but everything else will be right there. It's pretty convenient. It's pretty easy. We are not the only people in the center. The convention center is completely sold out while we're there, so there will be thousands of people walking through there. I asked today who the other groups were. I don't know yet who they are. Hopefully they're fun people. So not a lot we can do about it, but they will be with us and we will be with them, and we'll all share that space equally. If you have not made your hotel reservations, I will tell you this, it's a crapshoot right now, but don't wait any longer. Our hotel deadline passed. If there are rooms available, they will still give them to you. Keeping in mind that the city is sold out. Friday night's a really big event at our zoo called Zubilation. So a lot of the hotel rooms downtown are sold out. But if you still need one, try and do it today or tomorrow. If you get stuck, send me an email. I don't know if I can help, but I'll surely try. Or I can look at the other hotels to see if anyone has any availability for you. You know, we assign districts to hotels. The important thing is staying in our block. If that means you have to go to a different hotel, so be it.
So this would be a great opportunity with all these extra guests being in the convention center to practice the 2 for 2 and recruit some Kiwanis.
Yeah, especially, well, yeah, because people are there from all over the country, or all over the US, sorry. I know that one of the groups is a sports exhibition. And so I don't know what age demographics we're talking about, but they're exhibits, but you're right. That's a great opportunity to, especially with Kiwanis' involvement in youth sports.
Right.
You know, I'm sure Brad's right now making up a brochure that he's going to walk through and hand out to everybody.
I'm saying, make sure you got your Kiwanis gear on. Here's your chance to wear your gear.
Bravo.
That's a great point. I do know that, and I don't have any information, and Brad, I'll defer to you. I do know that there's Eye of the Tiger Club coming in to try to do a couple of club openings in Indiana prior to the convention as well. So there's some people trying to get out there and do some. So Brad, if you want to say anything about that.
I can mention real quick, they're working on 2 sites, one in Beech Grove, which is southeast of downtown. We had a club there once upon a time, and it's sort of re-emerging after they lost a hospital several years ago, probably a decade or more ago. And the other one is up in the McCordsville, Fortville, Mount Comfort area, which is east of Indianapolis. And so I believe they're staying at a Holiday Inn Express somewhere on the east side of Indianapolis, sort of midway between the two. And they'll be coming in Sunday night before the convention, and we'll be out Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. They hope to open the McCordsville, Fortville, Mount Comfort Club on Tuesday evening, and then Wednesday evening open the Beech Grove one. And then our team will also be doing some boosting of the clubs that sponsor them. So we'll be working in Zionsville, Lebanon, and possibly Greenfield and Greenwood.
Yeah, there you know it's interesting. There are a lot of Kiwanis clubs in the greater Indy area, but there's obviously a lot of people that still have not been invited or even know what Kiwanis is. Gregory, you got your hand up, Mr. Smith.
Yeah, just want to do a plea. They are looking for some volunteers at the Kiwanis convention, specifically on Thursday morning, right at the opening session, for a flag bearer. When they're gonna, at the opening session, they'll bring the flags in, and they need people to carry those flags. They're looking for about 40 more people to do that. So it'll be right at between 9 and 10. You pick up the flag, you carry it across, set it down, go sit back down. And so if anybody needs the link for that, I'll put it in the chat, and then you can go and sign up. It's under the Indiana volunteer list.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. That is important. You know, the more people we have, the more flags we can process through. We'll bring all the flags that we own and put them up throughout the marketplace because it makes for a great backdrop. And then we'll process those through and make sure it happens.
Other questions? I'm trying to, I think we've caught everything that's in the chat.
We don't have anything more on Facebook.
Okay, well, that means that Mike's he's done a great job with
Tony, don't start with flags, Tony. Okay, I'll remind them.
There aren't flags to cross the street in Indy, and I am very bummed about that.
Like we had in Salt Lake City, like the orange flags. Yeah.
That's okay. We can make it work, right? We'll make it happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Greg, do you have any update for those who did purchase tickets for Slippery Noodle about registration, or can you give a?
Yeah, an email is going to go out next week to everybody whose email I have about the logistics of that night and what's going on. If you had a guest that if you registered and had guests, I don't have their email, so I have to pass that information on to them as well.
Okay.
And I gave a heads up to every district secretary who had people coming to of all this as well.
And the event is from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., correct?
6 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Friday. Yep, we're going to do everything we can to make it run smoothly. There'll be lots of food. We'll have some special surprises. There'll be a couple bands playing, and people are welcome to stay past the 9 o'clock and just enjoy the evening.
That's the best way to close down the Slippery Noodle is to stay late.
Yeah.
I've never done that before. No, never done that.
Me either. It's just a very neat place, and I'm excited for y'all that it's just one of those little Indiana gyms that sits down there and has a lot of history with it. So good job,
character.
Greg. Greg
Character.
and team. Yeah, character. That's a great word for it. It's got character.
It's got character. Any other questions, thoughts?
I was just going to mention if anybody is bringing kids along with them, we have the world's largest children's museum, and they've added, I think since the last convention, an outdoor sports sort of area that is very interactive. So you might want to think about swinging up that way. It's a little bit north of downtown, so you probably have to take an Uber.
Yeah, it's about 4 miles north of our circle. If y'all remember, our circle is where we had all those pancakes in 2015. But the way Indianapolis runs is streets, it's at 38th Street. So that's 3.8 miles from the circle. So it's not bad, but Brad, that's an excellent point. It is, it usually ranks as the best in the world. I mean, if you're into dinosaurs, they have a Dinosphere. There is a great outdoor play space. I don't know if they still have the Power of Youth, but they used to have a Ryan White section and a Ruby Bridges section. But if you just go online to the Indianapolis Children's Museum, you'll see, and it's well worth a short jaunt up there if you have young people there. We also have an awesome zoo. It's within walking distance from the JW. You can walk out the back door and down to the zoo if you want to. We have a canal that's just a lot of fun to be out on. You can ride in a gondola. Not sure why you want to, but you're free to if you wish to on the Indianapolis Canal. We have a fair number of museums if you're a museum person. The Adel-Jorg Museum of Western Art sits right next to the JW Marriott. We also have a war memorial museum off of the circle as well. We have museums for just about everybody. We also, if you're, not that I've ever had any beer to drink, but I hear Tony Gunn has, we have a lot of microbreweries, even downtown. We have one old church, St. Joseph's Brewery, which is maybe blasphemous, but the church is now a brewery. And you walk in and you can tell that it was a church, as well as some other, obviously those are sprung up all over the place. So there are lots of things to do in Indianapolis, and just, getting the chance to get an experience a little bit, I think will make the days go easier. And again, we also want you to come up to the office, which is about 9 miles north of downtown. So that would take an Uber unless you're smart enough to go Wednesday or Sunday and you sign up for a bus ride, because those bus rides are free. You just need to sign up beforehand. Oh yeah, Sue's great point. NCAA headquarters. You can walk there as well from the hotels. There is a Hall of Champions, which we had a special event. Anybody that's in Bert's class of governors, we went there for a small thing that he had back in September. Just a neat place. Yeah, feel free to go check out that as well. Just, you're not going to lack for things to do. And when in doubt, Dr. Chris Bowers, and her host committee can also help. Linda Lothar, you raised your hand.
Yeah, Mike, I don't know that Greg is following the chat, but Greg David Roth is asking for tickets to the Slippery Noodle in the chat.
Yep, he's got it.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, again, that's a great opportunity to go and just have fun with other Kiwanians. And, don't call me for bail money. Not doing it.
Okay, we promise.
Or to be a character witness.
Right. Yeah, right. Hey, right. That goes both ways, right, Greg? Greg's like, no,
yeah, it sure does.
Yeah. Good times.
Mike, I think we also, the Indianapolis Museum of Art or Newfields still will have the loom exhibit. So that's been real popular too.
Yeah. So that's Brad, what about 60? How far up is it?
No, it's 38th and
in
Michigan Road. Yeah, 421.
Yeah. And let's not forget, friends, we this weekend will be on display. We have that little place where you turn left, called the Speedway. So there it is, Rosemary. Yes, there is some sort of racetrack there as well, which is not that far from downtown. And the great part is obviously everything has been cleaned up for this weekend, as they all turn left and someone chugs milk at the end of it. So
might also mention the new food hall, the Bottle Works, that's down on Mass Ave. So that would be a little bit of a pedestrian hike, but not that difficult. It'd be a lot stumbling back to the hotel.
Yeah. So if anyone is into Coca-Cola at all, Bottle Works Hotel was the old Coca-Cola bottling plant, and they've redone it, and they've gone in and they kept a lot of the interior. And then what Brad's talking about is they have created this food hall called the Garage, which of course was what? It was the garage for all the Coke trucks that would come through. It's just a neat place if you're into history, and people have restored it to some of its glory. And there's just, when they built factories back then, they built them with really high-end things, and there's a bathroom. This is my favorite part of that. That sounds weird, but it's my favorite part of that hotel. So up on the second floor where the meeting space is, and the meeting space was what was the old offices for the executives. Well, the secretaries, and they were secretaries back then, and so they were female secretaries, had a bathroom, and the bathroom is to the left, and it's still there. They restored it. You go, it's all pink. It's pink tile. Everything in that bathroom is pink, and so every time you go in there, they want to show you the bathroom. It's worth a trip to see the pink bathroom. So it's a lot of fun.
Hey, Mike, this is Linda. Why didn't anybody tell the board about that when we were there?
You didn't go see the pink bathroom?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, they failed you, Linda. I'll take that up with them on Monday.
I'm feeling the failure.
Right? It's that whole place. You're right. Linda and the board did stay there for their April board meeting. It's a neat place. It's just, there's some history there. We also have, as we're talking about just some things right around downtown, we have a beautiful Scottish Rite temple. If you're a Masonic person or just want to walk through, it's stunning in there. They have some Tiffany glass in there. There's just a lot of things that you can walk through and see. If you have something that you like, I bet we have something you can go see. So yes, okay, Rosemary. I'll take you and Linda on a trip to the bathroom. Okay, we'll go together. I can show you where it is.
In terms of
We'll be looking for you, Mike.
Might also mention the beer garden at the Athenaeum. They always have bands out in the band shell. So it'd be a great, if it's a nice summer evening, there's nothing better than kicking back there with a couple of beers and a great band.
Yeah, and Brad's our expert on the Athenaeum. You were on that board for a while, were you not?
Still on it.
Still on it. Just
doing my duty.
Doing your duty. But yeah, it is. They have a great beer garden. It's a really neat place too. You're right. Those of you arriving early, Debbie Gibson's doing a concert on June 5th at the lovely Vogue. It's just like, as things keep popping up, I'm like, really? That's what your life's come to, but okay, good for you. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Well, Mike, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll book you same time next year.
Absolutely. I'll be ready.
I'll be ready for Minneapolis.
We are ready for Minneapolis.
I look forward to seeing everybody. Go ahead.
For future reference, we go Minneapolis, then we go Denver. I'm going to go ahead and say this today. In Denver, we go over the 4th of July. So it's a little bit later, but we'll celebrate the 100th anniversary of the objects, which started in 1924. And every 25 years, we've gone to Denver. So 2024 Denver, 2025 Pittsburgh, and 2026 is when we'll finally get back around to picking up our friends in Manila, the Philippines, who should have been this year that we pushed to the end because they were not going to be ready. So that's where we have it laid out. We'll start looking for 2027 later this year. If anybody wants to send me a suggestion, shoot me an email.
Mike's house.
Mike, thanks for all you do for us.
You're welcome. I enjoy it. I used to not have, I have always had gray hair. I used to have more of it. So
that's correct. I can tell you that's very true. So, all right. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight.
You bet.
We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Sue.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.